I didn't flinch when she walked into the church that day, dripping in diamonds, clinging to him as if he were a prize she'd earned. My sister, my thief, my Judas. 6 years ago, I had stood on the edge of a new life, a white dress hanging in my closet, a ring glimmering on my finger, and a future carved with promises. He was mine, my fiancé, until she decided my life was easier to steal than to build her own. And she did it mercilessly. At our mother's funeral, she strutted toward me like a conqueror returning to gloat over ruins. Her hand flashed the oversized ring he had once placed on my finger, and her words sliced through the solemn air. Poor you. Still alone at 38. I got the man, the money, and the mansion. I smiled. A small, deliberate smile, the kind that hides a storm. Then I turned to her, tilting my head ever so slightly. Have you met my husband yet? He was ambitious, magnetic, reckless in ways that felt thrilling when I was in my 20s. I loved him with a blind devotion only the young can afford. And when he knelt with that ring promising forever, I believed him. She, my sister, was always watching. She knew my passwords, my insecurities, my routines. She knew how to slip into spaces I trusted, how to wear my smile as if it belonged to her. At first, I dismissed the signs, his late meetings, her sudden interest in helping with wedding plans, the texts he guarded, the perfume that wasn't mine lingering on his shirts. But then came the message, a careless, intimate email. His words to her, written in the same style he used to write to me. No denial could erase that. No excuse could soften the blade. My heart broke that night, but my face never showed it. I didn't scream. I didn't confront. I didn't beg. I just quietly canceled the venue, returned the dress, and disappeared from the role of his bride. Let her step into it. Let her think she had won. But in silence, I began to write my revenge. I studied them like a predator studies prey. He was greedy, chasing investments, cutting corners. She was shallow, dazzled by wealth she never earned, desperate to prove she was above me. I built myself quietly. Law school, late nights, certifications. Step by step, I rose in a world they couldn't touch. Corporate law, mergers, and eventually private acquisitions. I learned leverage. I learned how fortunes shift, and I found him. The man who would later become my husband. A man who was everything my ex was not. Brilliant, disciplined, patient, a strategist. He admired my restraint, my control. And when I finally told him the story, how my sister had stolen my fiancé, he didn't pity me. He simply asked, "Do you want him back?" "No," I said. "I want him ruined." Together we built the snare. Step 1 was patience. I let them live their gilded fantasy. 6 years of parties, posts, and perfect lies. I let her flaunt him. Let him think he had traded up. Step 2 was precision. My husband and I targeted the companies he funneled money into. We moved quietly, acquiring stakes, reshaping deals, watching him overextend. He borrowed. He mortgaged. He reached too far, never realizing the boardroom shadows were mine. Step 3 was exposure. One by one, his partnerships collapsed. Lawsuits, foreclosures, debt collectors. His empire crumbled, not in flames, but in silence, eaten from the inside out. And step 4, the cruelest. My sister, still ignorant, still flashing diamonds, still drunk on the illusion of wealth. I waited until the last piece was in place. The mansion, the very house she had mocked me with, bought with his loans, tethered to his sinking empire. I bought the debt quietly, legally, perfectly. The mansion became mine, which brings me back to the funeral. Her smugness, her ring, her cruelty, offered like flowers on our mother's grave. I smiled because I knew she didn't. "Have you met my husband yet?" I asked. When I called him over, the color drained from her face. She knew him. Everyone in the room knew him. My husband wasn't just a man, he was the man. The investor. The chairman. The shadow pulling strings behind the markets. The one who had quietly stripped her husband bare. Her hand trembled on his arm. Her diamond ring caught the light, but her eyes betrayed her. She had no idea until that moment who I had married. no idea that the man standing beside me was the one who had engineered their downfall. My husband slipped his arm around my waist, calm, confident, unbothered, and then he said the words that ended her delusion. "So, you're the sister? Interesting. Did your husband ever tell you who took his place?" Her lips parted. No sound came. Her eyes flickered to her husband, pale, sweating, defeated, and then back to me. I leaned in, whispering so only she could hear. "Everything you stole now belongs to me." She left the church in silence, dragging him with her, the shine of her diamond now a mockery of the ashes she lived in. I didn't chase. I didn't need to.